Imagine a family just absolutely poisoned by greed and resentment. A father's life is hanging by a thread, and his sons, they're all bound together by blood, sure, but also by pure, raw hatred. And that's the question that sits at the dark heart of this entire story. In this family of bitter rivals, who finally snapped? Who committed the ultimate crime?
Okay, so let's get into it. Before you can even understand the suspects, you really have to understand the victim. And Fyodor Karamazov, well, he was not a man anyone was going to mourn. You could say he was a man who practically invited his own destruction.
I mean, listen to how he's described, corrupt and often cruel in his lust, like some noxious insect. He wasn't just a bad guy, he was a creature of pure indulgence, a person whose very presence just felt toxic. A man like that, he's gonna make enemies. And suspect number one, the most obvious one, is his oldest son, Dmitri. Think of him as a soldier, a man of huge appetites, just explosive, totally unrestrained emotion. And Dmitri's motive? Oh, it's crystal clear. He absolutely despises his father. They're battling over his inheritance and, to make things worse, over the affection of the very same woman. He is just driven by pure, primal rage. And listen to this. This goes way beyond money or love. It's a visceral, physical sickness. In his own words, he says, "I feel a physical repulsion." It's an intensity so raw it sounds less like anger and more like a biological need for violence. Now, the second son, Ivan, is Dmitri's polar opposite. He's cold, he's brilliant, he's an intellectual, and his threat, it isn't about passion. It's all in his mind. You see, Ivan doesn't need a weapon made of steel. He wields something far, far more destructive, a truly dangerous idea. He basically poses this simple but world-shattering question. If there's no God, right, no eternal judgment, then what's to stop a person from doing literally anything they want? Ivan argues that if God doesn't exist, then all things are lawful, and that includes, well, even killing your own father. That is a dangerous, dangerous idea to let loose in a house already simmering with resentment.
So you've got the passionate son openly threatening violence, and the intellectual son basically declaring that all violence is permitted. The fuse has been lit.
And then it happens. That very night, in the middle of all that chaos and hatred, Fyodor Karamazov is found dead, his skull completely crushed in. The whole town just erupts. The investigation kicks off, and, on the surface, this whole thing seems like the simplest case in the world. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming, and it all points directly at Dmitri. He publicly threatened to kill the guy. He was seen fleeing the garden right after it happened. He suddenly comes into a whole bunch of money. And he even says, quote, "I meant to kill him." It looks like an absolute slam dunk. But this is where the real mystery actually begins. The physical evidence points to one man, for sure. But the question of moral guilt, that is so much more complicated. And the story leaves us with this one final, haunting question. If an idea, a philosophy, can lead to murder, is the person holding the weapon really the only killer?